Harriet's role in the Civil War. Although Harriet is most famous for her years working as a conductor of the Underground Railroad, she did a lot of other amazing things for our country as well. Harriet was familiar with the South because of her Underground Railroad rescue missions, so she became very valuable to the Union Army during the Civil War. The Civil War began in 1861 and ended in 1865 and was sparked by the debate over slavery. The Union Army represented the North and was against slavery, which was supported by the Confederate Army in the South. In 1862, Harriet began working as a spy and a scout for the Union Army. Harriet was only about 5 feet tall, which made it easy for her to move through the South unnoticed by slave catchers and Confederate soldiers. She used her knowledge of the South to travel from town to town, gathering information about Confederate plans. Unlike many Northerners, she was known and trusted by slaves in the South, so they were willing to help and guide her. Harriet also worked as a cook in South Carolina and tended to the wounds of the Union soldiers as a nurse. Many soldiers suffered from dysentery, and Harriet was able to cure them using natural herbs. Harriet's knowledge and determination as a nurse helped to save many lives. But Harriet's greatest military achievement occurred in June of 1863 when she became the first woman ever to lead an expedition in the Civil War. Harriet led several gunboats in a group of about 150 Union soldiers up the Combahee River in South Carolina to target Confederate supplies and help rescue slaves. Harriet gained important knowledge about where the Confederate Army was planning to attack them and was able to guide the slaves and soldiers away from harm. The mission was incredibly successful thanks to Harriet's leadership. It resulted in the liberation of around 700 slaves. Harriet was indispensable to the Union Army during the Civil War, yet she was never fully paid for her services. For all her work, she only received $200. She devoted her entire life to the fight for equality and helped others for little compensation. The only steady income she ever received was her widow's pension after her husband and Civil War veteran Nelson Davis passed away. However, Harriet was recognized for her service at the end of her life. She was rightfully buried with full military honors. Let's review what we just learned about Harriet's contributions to the Union Army during the Civil War. Question 1. When did Harriet begin working for the Union Army? A. 1850, B. 1873, C. 1862, D. 1889. The correct answer is C. Harriet began working for the Union Army in 1862. Question 2. What was one of her jobs during the Civil War? A. Surgeon, B. General, C. Seamstress, D. Spy. If you said D, Harriet Tubman was a spy during the Civil War, you are correct. Question 3. What was the name of the river where Harriet led her expedition? A. Mississippi, B. Combahee, C. Hudson, D. Potomac. If you answered B, you are correct. Harriet led her expedition up the Combahee River. Harriet